This is the Tuesday edition of Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a quick look at the leading top stories. First up, rust repairs after viral outrage over non-habitable conditions at MATRIC camping site, and the R505 in WOLMARANSSTAD claim 4 lives. In the business news, BUSA president highlights the importance of the upcoming B20 summit, and in the sports news, Refilwe has urged focus as BANYANA prepare for the WAFCON qualification. We begin here. A significant controversy has arisen in the Northwest regarding recent social media footage highlighting the conditions after the Itireleng Practical Center in Varif's number 1, where grade 12 learners are participating in their final exam preparation camp. The facility was observed to be in a state of despair with insufficient basic amenities and security measures. Our reporters were on the ground. Let's take a look.
Viral posts yesterday exposed shocking conditions at Itireleng Center, where matriculants allegedly lived without water, working toilets or electricity, jeopardizing their safety and exam preparations. The uproars prompted swift action, but investigations suggest the narrative may have been misrepresented. A statement from the Northwest Education MEC was reportedly issued without consulting the facility. Meanwhile, according to Managing Director of Mmuso Management, Mr. Kuselo, who oversees the center, he says the department still owes money for damages from a 2023 camp, leaving the center unable to afford repairs. The host had to personally fund emergency fixes to salvage the 2025 camp. Instead of addressing the debt or infrastructure failures, the department deflected blame, accusing learners of staging photos while ignoring the real safety concerns.
2019, building A, 2018. So for the first year of us taking over this building, I never told any scrap. So chore ne le mabota fela loreng ateng impa di bulk services whether ke metsi kompo motlakase ne o sa sebetse lotho mo. So rona re qadile fatshe ho lokisa mo aho ona. Jwale department, it was our very first client ka 2019. Ba le ba tlisa bana ba 1300 mo from dikolo tse 10 to write their exams. Even though there were problems, because obviously wa tseba koloi ha ka stuck e dutse di maditena for the jar. But we fixed those problems over time. That camp helped the Northwest to become number 3 in the national certificates results. And it could be attributed to this because of the number of the learners that were here. So that's one. Over the years, we have helped the department. Now, CAR 2023, this building was functioning optimally. No any leaks, any water issues or electricity, fully equipped, 2023. Now in that 2023, we had over 600 learners that came for their camps. Now initially, the agreement was with the schools, but then the department took over after a pronouncement by the political leadership of the province, or no, Bonaba take over the camp. But Swadi Baba stop patal. Then there was a financial problem with the camps because now the model, the first agreement was based on parents paying. Now the department has to come on board, so there was issues there. So we had to resolve those issues. That's between ourselves and the department, which did not happen during the camps, even after the camp. They only happened after the new year had started. Now, one of the reasons, one of the things that happened that time is that a week before the end of the camps had to be stopped because when the culture gets a baby to the exam, but certain areas of the building, and the decision was taken. I remember it was on a Friday in a virtual meeting, whereby the decision was taken that the camps must be stopped. All children had to be removed out of the building before by Qeta. Usually, Lefapha le aware hore certain parts of the building were broken by learners of that particular camp. After that, we had a dispute with the department, which actually took up until recently, which is now going for 2 years.
That here in Tireleng, after media reports and after involving the media in terms of the conditions of learners and teachers in the camp, we must register our disappointment in the department that when we got here, we found out that the facility or the service provider only knew 2 days or only concluded the deal with the department 2 days before learners were supposed to be here. And teachers and learners were informed already in September that there were going to be camps here. We are also disappointed in the Brown Mokgotsi way of dealings as to having somebody claiming to be sent by the department, somebody who has got nothing to do with the department, who does not represent either learners or teachers. We do not know who Moemedi Matsepe is, and we don't know what was his business here. And we call on the department, particularly the MEC, to refrain from such behaviors, because we do not want extortionists getting advantage of such situations. This is not a political campaign. We are not here. We are here for learners to pass. We are not interested in ANC politics. So we call on the MEC to refrain from such behaviors involving friends in matters of the department. Thank you very much.
In other news, 4 people aged between 25 and 35 have died in a motor vehicle accident in WOLMARANSSTAD on Sunday afternoon. The 4, all men and all related, gathered for a family tombstone when they decided to visit another family member in the nearby Makwasi area. They were altogether 5 in a sedan when they met their untimely passing. It is alleged the driver was overtaking 3 other vehicles when he lost control of the car, which then overturned several times on the R505 between WOLMARANSSTAD and Makwasi. 3, including the driver, who is a local teacher, or rather who's a teacher at a local school, died at the scene of the accident. 2 of the passengers were taken to the hospital, where one unfortunately succumbed to their injuries, leaving the sole survivor, who is still recuperating in hospital. In more news, the magistrate in GANYESA has postponed the murder case against the 2 suspects accused of killing a police officer known as Constable Boikanyo Molale to next month. Molale's lifeless body was found at approximately 5:30 on Sunday at the Thokoza section in GANYESA, just outside Vryburg. Preliminary investigation has revealed that 30-year-old Molale, who was attached to the GANYESA visible policing, was allegedly assaulted by an unconfirmed number of suspects. The member was declared dead at the scene, and thus far 2 suspects aged between 22 and 27 have been arrested in connection with his murder. On Monday, residents and fellow workers of the constable rallied in support of the family. Molale is reportedly the 2nd police officer to be killed in the village of GANYESA in 7 months. And on to this now, ANC Deputy President Paul Mashatile spoke to the media after delivering the Oliver Tambo Memorial Lecture at Wattville, east of Johannesburg, on Monday evening. Now, he said that ensuring that the unity of the party and working for the people would be a fitting tribute to the party's longest-serving president, Oliver Tambo, on his 108th birthday. Born on the 27th of October 1917, Tambo died in 1993 after suffering from a stroke. With the ANC having faced a serious electoral decline over the years, Mashatile says that after all these setbacks, they are now going back to Tambo's teachings by renewing the ANC and making it work for the people. Let's take a look.
Looking at the state.
Well, on a day like this, we rededicate ourselves to those teachings. We rededicate ourselves to that very message where Oliver Tambo said, I hand over to you the ANC that I've led for them many years stronger. And we are doing that now as we rebuild. So our program of renewal and rebuilding the ANC is to do exactly that, to make sure that the ANC can once again become stronger. We accept that we have gone through challenges in some areas. We had problems that have weakened the ANC, but the decision to renew and rebuild is to do exactly that, to go back to the teachings of Oliver Tambo, that this is the ANC of the people. Let us prioritize the people, and that's the only way we can make it stronger going forward.
Last question.
Moving on to international news now, Sudan's military chief has confirmed the army's withdrawal from its last western stronghold of El-FASHER after the paramilitary rapid support forces declared control of the city. In a televised address, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said that he had approved the withdrawal in response to the systematic destruction and killing of civilians. He said he had agreed with local leaders to leave and go to a safe place to protect the remaining citizens and the rest of the city from destruction. The UN has raised the alarm over reports of atrocities committed by the RSF in the recent days and has called for safe passage for trapped civilians. And with that, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, as the World Economic Forum heavyweights prepare together in South Africa for the G20 summit, the spotlight first turns to the Business 20, a critical forerunner that sets the tone for private sector engagement. Established in 2010, the B20 serves as the official dialogue forum between the G20 and the global business community, bringing together CEOs, industry experts, and business organizations from across the G20 nations to craft policy recommendations on trade, investment, sustainability, and inclusive growth. This year, South Africa steps into a historic role as host of the B20 summit, scheduled for the 18th to the 20th of November at the Sandton Convention Center in Johannesburg. Now, the summit will convene under the theme of driving inclusive growth and sustainable development, with a strong focus on youth empowerment, digital transformation, and climate resilience. At the heart of this effort stands Mxolisi Mgojo, who's the president of Business Unity South Africa and co-chair of the B20. In a recent address at the Singularity South Africa Summit, Mgojo emphasized the B20's unique role in bridging global with business policymaking.
One of the co-leads between the business and government partnership, and I co-lead the effort and the work that business is partnering with government on solving the Transport and Logistics Crisis Committee. So we are busy trying to get Transnet fixed, structural reforms that are taking place. So we've done that with the energy side. So if you see getting electricity non-stop, that's part of that team that's working on that work. But also, I'm also party. There's the V20 and then there's the B20. And we are the business side of what the V does, but from a business point of view in terms of the recommendation. So I co-chair that. So I felt that it's very important for me to really get a setting about what this B20 is really about, because everything that we're talking about here, at the end of the day, is going to be impacted by a lot of structural reforms, policies that have to be implemented, that have recommendations that have got to come and be implemented, that are supporting everything that we are trying to talk to and trying to achieve here today. So it really, for me, it is an honor to be with you today. We meet at an incredible, remarkable moment, and in just about 3 weeks from now, South Africa will be hosting the B20 summit for the first time on the African soil. And when we applause are over, visitors return home, this is when our real work will begin, turning commitments into action, and action into enduring investment opportunities. So why does the B20 matter? Let's start with the obvious but powerful truth. B20 matters because it is the first to be hosted on African soil. But its importance runs deeper than geography. It's about priorities and perspectives. 2 years ago, under India's presidency, Africa appeared as an addendum with a paper that was entitled African Economic Integration an agenda for global business. This time we are not an addendum, we are the agenda. That is a historical shift. It means Africa is no longer a policy afterthought. We are shaping global growth conversations, embedding our challenges, opportunities, and innovations at the center of the world's economic architecture. That is not symbolism, that's substance. As we step into this leadership role at a moment of enormous global transition, where their trade tensions are fragmenting supply chains, the energy transition is accelerating, creating new winners and losers. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of productivity, and demand for Africa's natural resources, our land, our minerals, and our energy is intensifying. This convergence actually puts Africa and South Africa in a position of strategic power. No longer passive suppliers of commodities, but active architects of new industrial value chains. We are not asking to be included. We are defining the terms of engagement. And our message is simple. Africa seeks growth that creates value here in jobs, in skills, and in ownership, and no one should be left behind. South Africa's business community carries a special responsibility in this moment. Our role is twofold. First, to showcase our excellence. We have proven that South African business can deliver with world-class capability, integrity, and innovation. Look at what we've achieved through the business-government partnerships that I've indicated and the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Program. These are not theoretical frameworks. They are working examples of collaboration, execution, and global standard governance. Secondly, to shape the message, the B20 gives us a direct line to the G20, to global investors, development finance institutions, and governments, including our own. Our message must be clear, focused, and actionable. And so, what are we saying to the G20? We have three core actions that we are calling for. First, we can't do everything at once. Let's double down on the few high-impact levels that can move the needle: digital transformation, agriculture, and critical minerals. But none of these will thrive without fixing the fundamentals: water, power, transport, logistics, and clean governance. Secondly, prioritize growth paths. Choose practical, implementable priorities. Ask hard questions. Where will South Africa position itself in the global critical minerals boom? How do we use technology to drive competitiveness rather than catch up? And thirdly, act decisively. We have a narrow window, months, not years, to engage investors, DFIs, and strategic partners. We have a technical playbook. Now we need executional courage. But our ambition must be extending beyond our borders. This is not only about South Africa, it's about Africa's collective ascent. By 2050, 1 in 4 people on the earth will be African. The African Continental Free Trade Area already represents 3.4 trillion market, the largest free trade area in the world. This question is not whether Africa will grow. It is how we shape that growth to serve our people. We take inspiration from peers. India, during its B20 presidency, showcased domestic innovation while developing global ties. Now it's Africa's turn to demonstrate our innovation, our resilience, our leadership. We must use the B20 platform to connect African innovators to global markets, attract sustainable long-term capital, and build value chains that create prosperity here and at home. B20 can, must, and become the bridge between Africa excellence and global opportunity. But colleagues, let's be honest, the success of this B20 will not be measured by elegance of our communiqué, but by the results we deliver. Success will be measured in new investments, resilient business, and high-quality jobs. It's not about how we speak, it's about how effectively we build. And lastly, it is our moment to lead differently, with clarity, conviction, and collaboration. Let's focus on what truly matters: Let's be bold. Let's make bold choices that move our economy forward. Let's build partnership that bring confidence and credibility to Africa's story. Because the world is watching, Africa, and is our time now. The B20 legacy will not be in the words we speak, but in the movement we create. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
In more business news, small businesses supported by the Department of Economic Development, Environment, Conservation and Tourism showcased their products and services at the Sun City GM SCASI Ride 2025 this past weekend, an initiative that brought meaningful economic benefits to the local community while promoting inclusive tourism as well as wellness through this partnership with Sun City Resort. Now, DDECT and other departments created a collaborative platform that promotes market access for micro, small and medium enterprises, townships, economic participation, as well as local tourism development. MEC Bitsaleng Kopane said that this event represents more than just a cycling experience, and it's a platform for economic empowerment and community pride.
The Kasi Ride 2025 brought thousands to Sun City Resort for a vibrant celebration of township culture, entrepreneurship and wellness. Through cycling, entertainment and exhibitions, the event connected local MSMEs to broader tourism markets, aligning with the department's Access to Market program to drive job creation and inclusive growth across the Northwest Province. Beyond business, the department used the platform to promote responsible drinking and gambling campaigns, urging festive season vigilance and safer choices. Blending fitness, tourism and local flair, Kasi Ride showcased the Bojanala region's scenic beauty and hospitality, proving township tourism is ready for the spotlight.
Power utility ESKOM has announced an ambitious plan to eliminate load reduction by 2027 as South Africa's electricity system stabilizes. In a statement, ESKOM said that the plan will target 1.69 million customers affected by temporary load reductions, mainly in Gauteng, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, as well as KwaZulu-Natal. The plan also includes a phased rollout of 6.2 million smart meters over the next 3 years, with 577,000 set to be installed by 2026 and the remainder by 2027. ESKOM said these measures, alongside tackling electricity theft as well as modernizing the distribution network, are aimed at creating a safer, more reliable electricity system and reducing the need for load reductions during peak hours. And that's all from the business news. Your sports update follows next. In soccer news, as BANYANA prepare for the pivotal second clash against the Democratic Republic of Congo in the 2026 CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifying round, Captain Refilwe Jani has stressed the importance of unwavering focus despite their away goal advantage. The South African national women's team, fresh from a hard-fought 1-1 draw in Kinshasa last week, will face the DRC on Tuesday at Dobsonville Stadium with everything to play for. Returning to familiar surroundings, Jani and her teammates are keen to harness the support of local fans to steer them towards victory. Jani also reminded fans that this tournament serves as a gateway to competing in the prestigious Brazil 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Moving on to cricket news now, South Africa's cricket captain Themba Bavuma has been named in the 15-man squad for the Proteas 2-match test against India. Now, Bavuma returns to the side after missing the recent Pakistan test series due to a calf strain. The squad includes 3 frontline spinners, that's Keshav Maharaj, Simon Harmer and Seniran Mutusami, while Kagiso Rabada and all-rounders Corbin Bosch, Marco Janssen and Vian Mulder provide pace option. The bulk of the squad that drew the recent series against Pakistan has been retained. The first test against India will be played at Eden Gardens in Kolkata on November 14th. And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be standing by tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.